They are not broke because of bad luck. They are not broke because of the system, their boss, or their upbringing. Most people stay broke because their mindset is bankrupt long before their bank account ever is. Because poverty, in its most dangerous form, is not financial. It is mental. And once the mind accepts being broke as normal, the soul follows quietly behind. They tell you to save pennies, but never teach you how to earn powerfully. They teach you to fear risk, but never show you how to leverage vision. They train you to obey the paycheck, but never how to break the chains of dependency. Most people are trapped in a cycle they don't even see. They wake up, chase crumbs, numb the pain, sleep, repeat. A slave to comfort, a victim of routine. And the worst part? They think it's normal. Because the majority lives this way, and the majority is always broke. But understand this truth. The masses are not the model. If most people are broke, why would you copy how most people think? If most people live in quiet desperation, why would you take their advice on freedom? You were not born to live paycheck to paycheck. You were not created to die under a mountain of debt, buried by excuses and fear. You were born with the same capacity as every titan who ever lived. But if your mind is infected with the virus of average, you'll never unlock it. Look around. You'll see people who spend more time scrolling than studying, more money on distractions than investments, more energy defending their limitations than building their empire, and they wonder why they can't break free. They believe money is evil. They think wanting more is selfish. They've been taught to fear wealth, as if poverty is noble. Let me tell you what's noble. Discipline, ownership, legacy. That's what wealth creates, not greed, options. Carnegie started with nothing. He didn't inherit the world, he built it. While others complained about coal dust and sweat, he saw steel and sky. He rewired his mind to see opportunity where others saw only obstacles. And so must you. If your mind is still operating on survival, you'll never build abundance. Because wealth isn't just about money, it's about capacity. The capacity to think long-term. The capacity to delay gratification. The capacity to suffer now so you can live free later. But most people can't stomach that. They want freedom without sacrifice. They want success without struggle. They want to keep their habits and gain a new life. It doesn't work like that. The price must be paid in full, and most won't pay it. They'll say it's too hard, too late, too risky. But let me ask you, what's riskier, building wealth on your terms or depending on a job that can disappear tomorrow? What's harder, disciplining yourself today or suffering for 40 years in a life you don't love? That's the trap. Most people sell their time cheap because no one ever told them they could own the factory instead of working in it. They were trained to follow, not to lead, to clock in, not to cash out, to settle, not to soar. So, yes, most people stay broke because most people won't look in the mirror and say, I am the problem and I am the solution. It's not the economy. It's not your boss. It's not your parents. It's not the government. It's you. You've got $1 million idea trapped behind a $10 mindset. You've got the hands of a builder and the habits of a beggar. You've got enough time to scroll, but no time to learn. Enough energy to party, but none to build. Enough excuses to stay broke, or enough fire to get free. Which will it be? Because there is no middle. There is no kinda rich. There is no sorta free. There is broke, and there is built. You don't attract wealth by wishing. You attract wealth by becoming someone who can handle it. Someone who shows up early, stays late, says no to now, to say yes to forever. Someone who reads instead of retreats. Someone who creates instead of consumes. Someone who treats their time like currency and their habits like weapons. But you can't do this halfway. You can't rewire your financial destiny while keeping your broke friends, broke thinking, and broke routines. If you want a new life, you need to burn the old one. Burn the excuses, burn the late nights and wasted weekends. Burn the stories that say money isn't for people like me. You know who money is for? People who respect what it takes. And what it takes is everything. Everything you are, everything you have, everything you do. It must align with the life you say you want. Because money doesn't respond to hope. It responds to habit. It responds to courage. It responds to the person who refuses to play small, who gets up when they fail, who studies when others sleep, who walks away from average like it's the plague. Most people don't stay broke because they lack opportunity. They stay broke because they lack clarity. They have no clear vision, no target. You ask them what they want, and they say, "I don't know, just more money." That's not a goal. That's a wish. A foggy dream with no blueprint, no teeth. Clarity is power. When Henry Ford imagined the Model T, he didn't say, "Let's try to build a car, maybe." He saw the future in his mind before it ever touched the assembly line. That's the level of precision you need, because wealth is built with intention, not luck. The lottery is luck. Legacy is design. You must decide what wealth looks like for you, and then build it like your life depends on it, because it does. Your time is your most precious currency, and most people spend theirs like it's infinite. They kill time, waste years, settle into mediocrity like it's a warm bed, then wake up one day with regret heavier than any debt. But you don't have to be like them. You can choose now to move differently, to think like an owner, to act like someone who refuses to be broke in mind, body, or spirit. That begins with belief. Belief that you are worthy of more. Belief that your past doesn't own your future. Belief that no matter how broke you started, you can finish wealthy. Not just in your pockets, but in your character, your relationships, your mission. But belief without action is delusion. And action without consistency is a dead dream. You must build momentum like a freight train, slow at first, but unstoppable once it moves. You show up when it's hard. You show up when it's cold. You show up when no one believes in you, because you believe in yourself. That's what separates the rich in spirit from the broke in mindset. While others are numbing their pain with distractions, you confront yours with discipline. While others are waiting for permission, you take command, because no one is coming to save you. There is no savior in this story. You are both the hero and the problem. And if you're strong enough to admit that, you're strong enough to change it. The truth? Most people are not broke because of their income. They're broke because of their identity. They still see themselves as someone who can't, who wasn't born for this, who's just trying to get by. That inner script is killing them faster than any recession ever could. Rewriting your money story starts with rewriting who you think you are. You want to stop being broke? Then stop thinking like someone who is. Upgrade your standards. Elevate your environment. Audit your circle. Cut the noise and install the mindset of a builder. A builder doesn't look for shortcuts. He builds brick by brick. No handouts, no begging, just mastery. You must develop the psychological stamina to outlast your old life, to walk through the discomfort of building, because the discomfort of growth is temporary. But the pain of regret, that will haunt you. When Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination, he didn't fold. He doubled down. He had seen his dream in his mind 1,000 times before anyone believed. When his first business failed, he didn't quit. He reinvented. That's the mindset. You don't retreat because it's hard. You adapt. You evolve. You rebuild. Every successful person you admire once stood at the edge of average and refused to jump. They chose the longer road. The road paved in rejection, in ridicule, in sacrifice. And they walked it anyway. Why? Because they knew the cost of staying broke was higher than the cost of becoming wealthy. Because they saw through the lie that says, be humble, be quiet, don't stand out. They didn't want to blend in. They wanted to rise. And so must you. No more hiding behind doubt. No more calling it being realistic. Realistic is the graveyard of dreams. It's the excuse of the mediocre. You weren't made to survive. You were made to build. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You need one thing, relentless conviction. A mind so focused, so unshakable, that poverty can't breathe in your presence. That doubt has no room to grow. That fear has no power left. Because when your mind is rich, your future cannot stay broke. You want freedom? Then think like someone who refuses to be owned. Act like someone who owns the clock, not someone who's owned by it. Move like someone who knows the power of a single decision. To never live broke again. That's the moment that changes everything.